Good morning, everyone. My name is Astrid Anggraini. I will present about navigating global inequality, a critical analysis of structural barriers to equitable citizenship. Presentation outline. The first is introduction, methodology, result, discussion, and conclusion. Introduction. Global citizenship education promotes cross-cultural understanding and shared global responsibility. Yet in a world shaped by deep economic, educational, digital, and political inequality, its ideals often remain out of reach for marginalized populations. Research objective: examine how structural inequalities affect global citizenship education. Identify economic, educational, digital, and political barriers to participation. Explore strategies for a more inclusive, justice-oriented framework. Methodology. The first is source, two-source strategy, inclusion criteria, and analysis. Economic disparities. Global economic structure systematically benefit a small elite while excluding the majority from meaningful participation in civic and political life. Will translate directly into mobility, access to global education, and influence over transnational discourse. Contemporary inequality is now defined more by differences between countries than within them, a shift from class-based to location-based stratification. Selective mobility persists. While the state maintains restrictive visa regime, so only a privileged minority can move freely across borders. Educational inequity. GCE has historically been accessible mainly to privileged students via IB or AP programs and study abroad opportunities. Under-resourced urban schools and marginalized Black and Brown yet remain largely excluded from global learning frameworks. Critics argue GCE risks becoming human capital development for a selectively educated global elite rather than a universal right. Refugees and conflict-affected youth face additional structural exclusion that make GCE impractical in their context. Cultural and political exclusion. The first, refugees and stateless persons. Denying civil and political rights as non-citizens severely limiting the feasibility of global citizenship. The second, differential exclusion. Indigenous communities, Rohingya Myanmar, colonial legacies, and rising nationalism. Interlocking barriers, not isolated problem. The first, citizenship premium. Advantage confers a citizenship premium that undermines the ideal of equal opportunity. The second, structural hierarchies. Post-colonial power imbalances shape whose perspectives are legitimized in curricula and policy. The third, elite-centered GCE. Global citizenship education concentrates in elite institutions, reinforcing a two-tier system of access. The fourth, digital exclusion. The digital divide is both a cause and a consequence of broader socio-economic inequality. The last, cultural invalidation. Marginalized groups are excluded not just legally, but through demands for conformity to dominant norm. Conclusion. The first, from privilege to right, economic advantage, citizenship status, and access to education and digital infrastructure currently determine who can participate meaningfully. The second, beyond Western norm, dominant framework often impose Western, liberal democratic value, marginalizing indigenous and alternative worldview. The third, a pluralistic model. Global citizenship must be reimagined as a justice-oriented, pluralistic practice rooted in local realities and diverse voice. The fourth, structural transformation, requires confronting global hierarchies, prioritizing inclusive policy and the digital educational divide, and embracing decolonized pedagogy. Okay, that's all from my presentation. Thank you for your attention and see you.